Calcutta rape and murder case. So, as you know, the timeline of events that the victim was found dead in the seminar room in the VRs and on the 9th of August. And the deputy superintendent of the hospital informed the family only at 9:30 a.m. And the crime scene arrived at 1 p.m. on the same day. And the postmortem was conducted by around 6 p.m. And subsequently the body was cremated by around 11 p.m. So this is what is the background of the case. And of course, thereafter, once the post-mortem was done, as you all know, the cause of death was found. There were multiple injuries, different nature of injuries, and there were genital injuries which were fresh in nature. And all these things concluded the possibility that it was a homicide, and the sexual assault was also confirmed. Now, you all know that what happened to the victim. But what is more important with the investigation point of view and the examination point of view is who done it. So this who done it is something which the investigation has to prove. And what is the motive? It is another most important part of the investigation. The very important aspect is who done it. That can be confirmed not only by the witnesses' statements but also the reliable forensic evidences. The reliable forensic evidences are the CCTV evidences at the crime scene and around the crime scene, and of course the CDR are technical evidences we call pertaining to the mobile or the videograph or even the call dumping or the CDR records. This is all a very good circumstantial evidences in cases of this nature. And of course, the dog squad which can track the possible suspects. These are all the circumstances that we usually do with the investigation is concerned. Another very important thing, which is necessity to identify the victim beyond reasonable doubt, is the fingerprints and the DNA evidences. The most important thing is where do you find the DNA evidences? The DNA evidences are present both at the crime scene and also on the dead body. That the crime scene, maybe the clothes or the bedspread or the mattresses, and where we found the blood sample, the semen sample, or the salivary stains, or the hair follicles, and the clothes. And on the body, again, the bite marks where we get the salivary stains, the nail scrapings where we get the DNA evidences, and of course, the so-called the clothes on the victim, where the possibility of the DNA evidences. And very important in the sexual assault of this nature, the presence of semen. The DNA recovered from the semen confirms the accused. And if there are one accused or multiple accused can be confirmed through the seminal examination and the segregation of DNA from those semen samples. This is how we identify who done it. Of course, once who done it has been done, the person has been identified, the motive can be easily established. Now, the most important aspect in this case is why it is the biggest challenges the CBI is going to face, because the CBI came just 2 days back because after the High Court order. The biggest challenges is now the body is not there because the body has been cremated. Means much of the evidences has to be relied from the body is only on the photographs or the videographs. And those evidences which is collected from those set of doctors, a panel of doctors who had done the autopsy. And the biggest deterrent in this case is, as you all know, the crime scene. The scene arrived, the experts arrived at 1 p.m. on the August 9th, and until that it was open. Possibility of trespassing or something which has been compromised, and thereafter, you know, the vandalism and the subsequent entry of so many people at the crime scene that has definitely compromised the crime scene. That's a very biggest challenge. The delay in the arrival of the CBI officers or the delay in the court order and the absence of the body, and more important, we had to rely on the method of collection of the so-called the relevant forensic evidences from the autopsy. If that due care and procedure is not followed from the collection, the preservation, the packaging, the transportation, and the subsequent examination in the laboratory. If the standard procedures are not followed, even that evidence is likely to be compromised. And above all, the very important aspect is, as you all know, it's a very big surprise that one of the accused has confessed to the crime. But eventually, confession of the accused of the alleged crime in front of the police officer under 161 CRPC may not hold good in the court of law. And secondly, the most important is the confession, if it is not substantiated by the relevant material evidence, that confession lost its grounds. That means the person might have made the confession to mislead or maybe fabricated, that cannot be ruled out. And now the question is, with all this due protest of the nationwide, what is the outcome of the case? The outcome of the case in this particular incident is only the larger protest, and the message which has gone to the rest of the country is this: the Supreme Court has taken note of it, and the possibility of a new law being enacted. As you know, the Supreme Court has formed the National Task Force, and the new law being enacted to protect the interest of the doctors. I think that will be the only achievement in this case, I foresee. But in the coming days or in the coming months or when the trial starts, you all come to know the type of evidence that has been collected, or the inadequacies in those evidences, or the witnesses' statement, which usually see the changes, and the type of influence or the circumstance in which the witnesses can come and give to the court is well known. So overall, I and you, I can say that we have to hope for the best, but we are very sure that efforts will be made by the Supreme Court to prevent such cases in the future. Thank you.